The simplest option for creating custom embroidery fonts is to use the built-in Convert TrueType font feature. The conversion process is fully automatic. If you find that some letter shapes can be improved, you have the option of editing and repackaging individually. Experiment with the conversion settings. The process of converting TrueType fonts to embroidery begins by converting individual characters on the fly and experimenting with conversion settings. Open Lettering Properties and select a TrueType font from the drop list. Enter some sample text and click TTF Conversion to access conversion settings. First of all, select a lettering style, if available, from the style list. This option may not be available for all fonts. Specify whether to convert as turning strokes or complex fill. This will depend in part on font type, whether serif or non-serif, script or block. The complex fill option provides a single fixed stitch angle. If you want stitching to follow letter contours, select turning strokes. With turning strokes, preset values are automatically adjusted according to selected font characteristics, serif or sans serif, block or script. Try the defaults to start with. If unsatisfied with the presets, experiment further with the settings. These are described in detail in the online help. Zoom in to study the stitching and object formation. Convert the entire TrueType font. To convert an entire TrueType font, go to Setup, Convert TrueType font. Select the font to be converted together with the font style, regular, bold, or italic, and enter a font name if you want to override the default. Adjust conversion settings as necessary, according to prior experiments. Custom fonts are saved in ESA format to the Fonts folder within the Windows Program Data folder. Edit and repackage generated letters. First, set up a grid and save the file for future reference. Whenever you need to fix or edit characters, the grid helps with reference points. Set vertical spacing to 10 mm and horizontal to 0.5 mm. Generate a sample and study the characters. You only need to generate letters that you want to edit and repackage. Note the lettering height. Normally this will default to 10 mm, which is the same as our grid height. Before you start, turn off underlay. When you repackage, characters should be without it. Break apart the font, line by line and letter by letter, until you arrive at the component objects. Hide other objects and zoom in to edit the letter shapes. Typically, you'll want to add or remove control points, adjust overlaps, and resequence component objects. When you've edited the letter to your satisfaction, select all component objects and apply closest join. Add guidelines to define the letter extents. This will help determine the reference line. Repackage the letter to the converted embroidery font. Select letter components and save using the Object Create Letter command. Select the converted font from the drop list. Key in the letter name. This should be the actual character, in this case, A. Specify a reference height. Ignore the warning and click Yes to proceed. Enter a reference line as prompted. Optionally, use the knife tool to cut objects into smaller overlapping strokes for better stitchability. Again, select all component objects and apply closest join. Add all other modified letters to your converted TrueType font in the same way. Test the updated font and check that changes are preserved and underlay automatically added to the repackaged letters. Save your project file for future reference in case you want to edit and repackage other letters.